Hi, I'm Tracy Boges. Welcome to my presentation on the Graffiti of Pompeii and Herculaneum, using humor and criticism as a coping mechanism in the Roman world. We will begin with a brief introduction to Pompeii and Herculaneum. We will see what life was like before the eruption, then we will dive into the who, what, when, and where of each city's graffiti and why it's important today. Pompeii and Herculaneum are located here in the Campania region of southern Italy, near the Bay of Naples, at the base of Mount Vesuvius. Herculaneum is located about 17 kilometers to the northwest of Pompeii. Before the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, Pompeii was a thriving Roman town with a vibrant social and commercial life. It was a popular resort for wealthy Romans with many elegant homes, shops, bathhouses, and theaters. The city's economy was fueled by agriculture, particularly olive oil and wine production, and its location on the coast made it a hub for trade. Many people of Pompeii frequented bars, brothels, and baths, as well as entertained guests in their home. Slavery was also a common practice. When we refer to the graffiti of Pompeii and Herculaneum, we are talking about anything that is scratched, painted, or drawn on a wall or surface that is not meant as a formal decoration. These marks are informal communications distinguished from official wall paintings like frescoes or mosaics because they were added casually by everyday people. It can be anything from writing, doodles, games, political ads, jokes, poems, numbers, and even love notes. The authors of the vast amounts of graffiti include children, people of all social classes, from the wealthy and elite to slaves, and both men and women alike. Their reasons for writing vary, but we frequently see graffiti used for emotional processing, such as venting frustrations, exhibiting their personal and social identity, spreading messages to one or many people. They may be trying to start a running dialogue with others, or they might simply just be bored. You might be asking yourself, how much graffiti is there really to see? If you think about walking through your own house, you probably wouldn't encounter much graffiti. People don't just walk into your living room and scratch a greeting on the living room wall. However, in Pompeii and Herculaneum, this is actually a common occurrence. Over 11,000 drawings and inscriptions have been found in Pompeii so far. In Herculaneum, we have found around 250 to 300 so far. The vast difference is due to a couple of reasons. First, Herculaneum is much smaller than Pompeii, about a third of its size. When Mount Vesuvius erupted, it sealed the city much differently than Pompeii. While Pompeii was mostly buried by light pumice and ash, Herculaneum was hit with pyroclastic surges that instantly carbonized organic material. Then it was covered in very thick layers of volcanic material, creating a more airtight environment. Excellent for preservation. However, Herculaneum is buried much deeper and therefore harder to excavate. While Pompeii is about 13 to 20 feet below the surface, Herculaneum is actually 65 to 82 feet below. So what kinds of graffiti are there? It ranges from pictures or figural graffiti, political messages or programmata, tagging, numbers, greetings and dialogue, advertisements and reviews, expressions of love, hate, and humor, quotes and poetry, and even graphic graffiti, as Romans had a very open attitude about sex. Figural graffiti, or what I like to call Roman emojis, is a very popular genre in both Pompeii and Herculaneum. People often drew animals, like this blanketed camel and this rooster with comb and wings, both found in the Samnite house in Herculaneum. Boats and ships were also popular, like these examples from Pompeii, as well as gladiators and gladiatorial fights. You can often even distinguish the types of gladiators in the etches as well. There is also a vast array of human figures, like these examples from Herculaneum. Written graffiti is the other category. We find lots of examples of people practicing the alphabet, as well as recording Roman numerals and tally marks, possibly to keep track of merchandise or the scores of a game. Running dialogue is common, not just in private homes, but public spaces as well. This conversation takes place on a tavern wall in Pompeii. Severus is poking fun at Successus the Weaver. It says, Successus the Weaver is in love with the slave of the innkeeper, whose name is Iris. She doesn't care about him at all, but he asks that she take pity on him. A rival wrote this. See ya. It evoked the following response written just below it. You're so jealous, you're bursting. Don't tear down someone more handsome, a guy who could beat you up and who is darn good looking. On the other side of the doorway is written, I said it, I wrote it, you love Iris, who doesn't care about you. Two successes, see above, Severus. And here's a look at that dialogue. Insults were commonly thrown back and forth as well, such as Samius to Cornelius, go hang yourself. Phalaris is a eunuch. Key, I hope your hemorrhoids rub together so much that they hurt worse than ever before. And Epaphra, you are bald. The Romans also had a colorful dialogue going on in the proverbial bathroom wall. Here are a few PG examples, but there are many more with much more vivid imagery, many of which are accompanied by figural graffiti that is often phallic in nature. While the Romans could be a bit crude with their language, they could also show their passionate side as well, with lines such as, I love her whom I love. Philia, I am a slave to you. I love you and you love me. Our love is for eternity. To Agatha, from your faithful lover who dreams of you, and my love for you burns fiercely as the fire. So, why is the study of graffiti important? It gives us insight not only into events and timelines, but the language and linguistics of ancient times. We can see the cultural norms, education, belief systems, and political climate of different communities. But most importantly, it allows us to connect on a real and personal level by giving us a look into the everyday lives of people just like us. Thank you.